the deep quiz. Okay, so I believe the answers should be available to you right now, the correct answers and possibly some explanation there. But if there is any doubts regarding the deep quiz, we will take it in the office hours. Okay, so the next office hours I will tell the TAs to keep it for longer so that you can also clear doubts about the deep quiz. Okay. So hope everybody was able to access everything and things went fine.
Sir, I didn't do well in deep quiz. Is there any chance I can improve my score?
Yeah. So as I said, I think we decided on having 6 or some 4 deep quiz, and we are doing best of 3, right? Yeah. So we'll be having 4 deep quiz, and we will be doing best of 3. So yeah, as long as you do really well in 3 light quizzes, that will be good for your grades.
Okay, sir. So for the 3 quizzes, I should be doing well.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's get started. So yes, a few people also complained that the deep quiz was not deep enough. So what I did was, if you go to the eLearn portal, I also added a new subsection in the probability basics part, which is called solve problems by discussion. Okay. So I have posted some 4 to 5 problems there. Okay, some of them are not very hard. Some of them are a little bit hard. Yeah. So all of you can discuss and try to come up with a solution for them. Okay, so even if you have a partial idea, just post it there in the forum. Maybe yeah, somebody else can yeah, continue with the idea, and together you can come up with a solution. Okay. And yeah, as that I said in the beginning itself, there will be some points for the discussion also. How active you are, there will be some 5 marks only, but yeah. So yeah, these are harder questions. It will make you think, and yeah, only solving lot of problems will help you in learning probability. No matter how you listen to my class, it's not going to help you really. In the end, you need to solve a lot of problems. Okay, and we are doing light quiz, we are doing deep quiz. An assignment will also be out by today evening. It was supposed to be out by yesterday evening itself. Be out by today evening. And there is also the extra problems being put out in the discussion forum, which you can solve by discussion. Okay, so that will give you enough exercise. Okay, let's get started with today's lecture. So also I have given directions. Yes.
So do we have to use LaTeX to answer those questions in that new forum which you have created?
So only way to enter math formula is to use LaTeX, and I have given you directions on how to enter math.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like an assignment that will be evaluated or anything. Yeah, so you should make an attempt. That's all.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So could you please ask the TAs to conduct a session for latex and math as well?
So if you just search online for LaTeX, you will find lot of resources. So if you just go to Overleaf, for example, there's actually a Wikipedia book on LaTeX. Yeah, so yeah, everything we cannot cover in class. There are many of the simple things freely available online, which you can learn by yourself. Yeah, I understand. Solving math problems you cannot learn from online. That somebody needs to help you in thinking, and slowly only we get it. But LaTeX and all, I think you are smart enough to look it up yourself and understand it yourself. Yeah, there are, you just search for Wikibook LaTeX, there's an entire book on it, or Overleaf LaTeX documentation. There's an entire site called Overleaf where you can enter LaTeX online, and they have the entire documentation also with lot of examples. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let's get started on the next section of the course. Okay. So we were so far talking about sample spaces, events, and probabilities and everything. So yeah, there is a more better way of thinking about things, a high level way of thinking about the probability. It's called random variables. Okay, and initially we will think in terms of events and everything, but soon we'll be thinking in terms of random variables, not in terms of individual events. Okay, and it's very important that we go to that next level. Okay, so let's ask a simple question and try to understand what this is. So let's say you are tossing n coins. Okay, and what is the probability that so let's say a coin n times, a p biased coin. Okay, so what do I mean by p biased coin? It means that the probability of heads is p. Okay, probability of heads is p, and we are tossing it n times. What is the probability of seeing let's say 5 hertz? Everybody should be familiar with this. Question is clear? Nobody wants to answer.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
So first we select 5. So NC5 into probability of head whole power 5 into 1 minus P whole power n minus 5. 1 minus P whole power n minus 5.
Yeah, everybody agrees with this? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the average number of hits? Okay, so what do I mean by that? What is the average number of hits? So what do you think physically it means?
Expected value?
Sorry?
Sir, expected value?
Yeah, but what is expected value? What's the physical meaning?
What is the average probability of getting number of heads?
No, I'm not saying in terms of probability. I'm saying physically, in the real world, what do you mean by average? I mean,
Okay.
The most probable.
most probable, okay.
Sir,
Is
out of
the
n,
average
how
always
many?
the most probable? Does everybody agree with that? That average is the most probable thing?
No, sir. Sir, I am not saying average, means expected. I am saying about expected.
No, but I'm saying in the real world, let's say you are talking to somebody, okay, in your village who doesn't know anything about probability. You need to tell him what this is. And he knows about coin tosses and everything. He knows how to toss a coin 10 times. You want to explain what is this? Yes.
So the average number of count, the number of times head shows up.
Sir, if we are tossing n times, then more or less how many times heads comes? This type of things we can say on an average heads comes these times. This is average.
Yeah. So there is. So let's say one way of explaining it is the following. So you do this experiment. So you do this n tosses. Okay, so you tell the villager, okay, toss the coin 10 times. The number of hits you note down. Okay, so let's call it A1. Okay, and again repeat the whole experiment, A2, and repeat it many times, AK. Yeah. Yeah, so what is summation of AI by K? Yeah, this is exactly the average. You repeat the experiment many times independently, and yeah, what is the average? Yeah, this is what the concept of average is here. Okay. Yeah, so
So could we say that in every experiment we could get this number of heads?
every experiment, this number of hits. Now the thing is, the probability of getting that average value might be 0 actually.
No, I mean when we say the average number of heads. So could we say that in experiment A1, comma A2, comma so on up to AK, in each of these experiments, the average number of heads is this number?
So I'm saying, what do you mean by average? How do you explain average to a layman?
Sir, in each of these experiments, we would get heads this number of times.
Yeah, and you need to basically take the total and divide by the number of repetitions.
So can you explain this notation once more? What is summation of AI and K?
So you have thrown coin n times and noted down number of heads, right? And that is A1. This you can tell the villager, what do you mean by A1? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ask him to repeat the experiment whole over again. That number is A2, second time you repeat. You do it some K times. Let's say K is some 100 or something, 100 times. Summation of AI also you can explain to a villager, like adding up things. I hope he knows how to add up things and divide by the number of repetitions. That is the average, right? So, yeah, so this is roughly the average. Yeah, I mean, so let me just tell you something. So let's say the average value is something, and would the probability of that, I mean, the number of hits being that average value be equal to 0? Somebody said it's the highest probability value. Is that correct?
So it's central tendency. It's not highest value.
For example, let's say n equal to 9. Yeah, and p equal to half. N equal to 9 and p equal to half. Okay. What do you think the average value is?
So n into p.
Which is?
4.5.
And what is the probability of seeing 4.5 hertz?
So no, not 4.5. It will be 4 or 5.
4.5. No, you said NP. So 9 into 1 by 2 is 4.5. Last time I checked. And what is the probability of seeing 4.5 hertz?
0, sir.
0. Yeah. So the average doesn't mean that the probability of that is going to be high or anything like that. In fact, the probability can be 0. Yeah. Yeah. So we need to understand what is happening here. Yeah. And many a times this average makes sense. And okay. So let's try to understand what is happening here. So to start a discussion on this, first we need to define what a random variable is. Okay. So random variable is, yeah. So you do this n times, yeah, and you can look at the number of heads. And the number of heads is a real number. It's actually a natural number, yeah. So, but we might also look at real number some point. But number of natural heads is a natural number, yeah. Now, this is an example of a random variable. Yeah. So random variable is kind of a number. In the end, it gives you a number. Maybe a real number, maybe a natural number. Okay. So yeah. So what is happening here? Yeah. So what is the sample space here? What is the sample space here?
Zero to n, sir.
So you need to specify how many times the coin is tossed, otherwise it can be different.
So I mean, you can say the sample space is 0, 1 raised to n, right? I mean, let's say 1 means heads, 0 means tails. Sample space is 0, 1 raised to n. You repeated the thing multiple times. Yeah, and we know for every element in the sample space, we know what the probability is. Yeah, for example, let's say n is equal to 5, and you are looking at the string 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. So what is the probability of this? What is the probability of getting this sequence?
1 by 32.
1 by 32.
No, no, P, I'm keeping P as P, there's no half.
One minus p whole square into p cube.
Yeah, so basically you are applying independence. Yeah, these are independent events. The coins are independently tossed. So these are all independent events. So yeah. Okay. So so you have a sample space, but what is this number of heads? I mean, what is it thing? I mean, yeah. So a random variable. Initially, it might seem a bit counter-intuitive. But if you understand it, spend some time looking at it, you see this is what we mean by random variable. Random variable is actually a function, okay, from sample space to real numbers. It is a function, nothing else. Okay. Actually, there's nothing random about random variables. I mean, there's just a function from sample space to real numbers. Yeah. So let's say the x is number of heads. Okay, x is the number of heads. Okay. So what is x of 0, 1, 0, 1, 1?
3.
3. Yeah. So you know, okay, for any string in 0, 1 raised to n, you know what the value of x is. You know this function. Yeah. It is basically the number of ones in that string. That's it. Yeah. And yeah. So the thing is, typically when you talk about random variables, so typically we only say the probability of number of heads is, let's say, 5. This is what we wanted to say. Yeah. But how do we say it in terms of this random variable?
Px is equal to 5.
X equal to 5, but x is not a variable, it's a function. X is, we just said it's a function from sample space to real numbers. What do you mean by x equal to 5? No ideas. So we have this sample space, yeah, with 0, 1 raised to n. And then there is this number line. Okay, in our case, actually everything is 1, okay, 1, 2, up to n, yeah. And for each element in the sample space, it is being mapped to one of these numbers. This is what the X is doing, right? It is mapping 0, 1 raised to n to the number line.
Sir, there is a huge lag between the audio and the video.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I am facing the same.
Yes, sir.
Is it better now? Because I'm not doing anything else. Maybe I will talk slowly. Hopefully that will solve the problem. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So what is a random variable? It is a function from omega to the real 9. So omega here is 0, 1 raised to n, and real number is the real 9. Yeah. Each element of 0, 1 raised to n, it maps to a real number, actually a natural number in our case. Yeah. So yeah, how do you write this statement in terms of a random variable x? Yeah. The number of heads is 5. So somewhere there is 5 here. Yeah. And there is some set of elements in the sample space which is mapped to 5. Yeah. There is set of elements in omega that is mapped to 5. So how do you denote this? Nobody want to try?
Sir, x of the set of elements is equal to 5.
Yeah, so how do you write this set? This is a set, but you should be able to write it mathematically. No? This is like English definition.
Some variable x belonging to.
Okay, capital X. Such that. Sorry, capital omega. Sorry. So let's call this W belonging to omega, such that x of W should be equal to 5. This is a set. Yeah. So you should be able comfortable writing set notations like this. This is how you write this right in English. You should be comfortable writing mathematics like this. Okay. Now another way of denoting this is simply to write x inverse of 5. 5 is in the range. Look at the inverse of 5. Those are all the elements. Yeah. So another way of writing this probability is probability of x inverse of 5. Yeah. It's a bit annoying to write this because when you write x inverse of 5, it is very annoying to write this. So typically, this is written as probability of x equal to 5. Yeah. So what do we mean by x equal to 5? It is actually x inverse of 5. Yeah. And what is x? X is this function. Yeah. Is it clear?
Oh, sir.
Sorry. So what is the question? So what is number of heads? This we said that the sample space is 0, 1 raised to n. Yeah. So what do you mean by number of heads? Number of heads is basically a function. For any occurrence, you can count the number of heads. It's a mapping which maps 0, 1 raised to n to real numbers. Yeah. So that is what a random variable is. Yeah. And what is meant by number of heads is 5. It is basically, okay, what is the subset of the sample space which is mapped to 5? It is this set. It is probability of this set, probability of this event. Yeah. And yeah, so for simplicity, we will actually write this event as square bracket x equal to 5. This is just a notation. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we have a like a mathematical definition of what do you mean by random variable is. Okay. Now we need to have mathematical definition of what do you mean by averages. Okay, so we want to know average number of heads. So yeah, so typically this average number of heads. So number of heads is the random variable x. Yeah.
So this x inverse 5 thing is not clear.
So number of heads is 5. Yeah. So this denotes an event. Yeah. So what is the event that this probability is being asked of?
Number of heads is 5.
No. So let's start with sample space. What is the sample space? Sample space is 0, 1 raised to n.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by number of heads equal to 5? That's a subset of the sample space. Which is the subset? Sir. Tell me the subset in mathematical notation.
Sir, all heads.
All heads. Sorry.
1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
No, so here n is we left this as n itself. We haven't substituted n equal to 5.
Okay.
So it is the set of elements in the sample space for which this function x is the function which maps any 0, 1 raised to n to the number of heads. It is a set of elements in the sample space for which the number of heads is equal to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the event we are interested in. Yeah. Yeah. So writing this in terms of this function, this is x inverse of 5. What are all the elements in the domain of x for which the range value is 5?
Okay.
I'm just going back to old set theory, functions and everything, nothing more.
This W is what? Number of heads, number of subsets.
W is an element of the sample space. So
number
what is W?
W is basically number of subsets where the number of heads will be 5.
Look, Ankit, you need to understand definitions. You need to clear your head. That's why I said, okay, what is the sample space?
Sample space is 0, 1 to the power n.
What is the element of 0, 1 to the power n?
Basically, out of all n outcomes, anything can be head or tail.
No. An element of 0, 1 raised to n is a string of 0 and 1s. It is something like this of length n.
That's what.
This is what the element of 0, 1 raised to n is.
That's what, where 0 is tails and 1 is head.
So we need to think about it very clearly, otherwise we will get confused.
Yes.
And this is the biggest problem with probability, because people think in terms of English and not in terms of math. If you think in terms of math, things become simpler and even hard problems become very simple. If you think in terms of English, you will get stuck, you will get confused.
So basically
they are telling you, okay, define the sample space. What is the sample space? What is the event? That's where I am going.
Sir, there will be 2 to the power n elements in the sample space, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, so what is this event we are interested? It is basically the set of elements in the sample space for which the number of heads equal to 5. And we define the function x. So x is the function, yeah, which gives you for any element of the sample space the number of heads. Yeah. So this is the way to define this event. So this is the event we wanted to write in English. Yeah, this is the event we want to write in mathematical notation. So if you have a function x, so you can write x inverse, the function inverse. Yeah, and that is also a subset of the sample space. So this is a concise notation for the same thing. Yeah, in functions notation. And finally, like, but when we talk about probability, we don't like to write this inverse. So the definition of this is definition. Eh? So x equal to 5, meaning it is this set.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you hear x equal to 5, that means, okay, you need to remember, oh, x is a function from sample space to real numbers. And what this means is basically this set.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So this set, sir, is basically where all the permutations of these 2 to the power n, out of all these 2 to the power n elements of that sample space, all those elements where there will be 5 heads, and we can permute all of them.
So what is the what is the probability of x equal to 5? That's what you are saying. So what is the probability of x equal to 5? So yeah.
So NC5.
NC5, that's all.
NC5 will be the favorable case.
So is there will probability? So we said P1 minus P.
Okay. So P to the power 5 into 1 minus P to the power n minus 5.
Why is that? How did you get this formula?
So basically x equal to 5 means that 5 heads have to be there.
Yeah. So how did you get this formula? Like, yeah.
Is it incorrect?
It's not incorrect, but I want to make your thinking clear. That's what. It's extremely important to make your thinking clear. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, what is happening here is, if you look at the size of the set x inverse 5, that is n choose 5. Yeah. Now take any element in the set.
I got it.
Take any element of the set. What is the probability for all W belonging to x inverse 5? What is the probability of W? Yeah, it actually doesn't matter where the 5 ones are. All of them has the same probability. It is equal to P raised to 5 into 1 minus P whole raised to n minus 5. And that is how this comes. This formula comes. Yeah. So in this course, we shouldn't just blindly accept formulas. You should understand why it is coming. Yeah. And if you understand that, then you can solve harder problems. If you just blindly accept formulas, then when we come to harder problems, you will get stuck.
Yes, got it.
Okay, so that was this story. Yeah. Now, what do you mean by average number of heads? Yeah. So the number of heads is a random variable x. So what do you mean by average value of x? How do you think you had to calculate it?
Sir?
Yes.
It would be summation of probability of x equals to 1 to n.
Summation of probability of
x equal to 1 to x equal to n.
So
like probability of
what you should write here?
Like summation of I equal to I to n
1 to n. Okay.
Yeah, and x equals to I.
X equal to I.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with this?
So it will be from 0 to n.
Okay, it is from 0 to 1. X can also be 0. Number of heads can also be 0. Okay. Does everybody agree with this?
Divide by n also.
I had to divide by n. Okay. Does everybody agree with this?
So we have to, I think, multiply with the number of heads as well, like because random variable is a rule which is given to the
So
outcome
what is
of an
this
experiment.
value? What is this value? That you just
I don't.
this probability
I mean,
add up to 1, no?
yes, sir.
So this is just 1 by n. So
Sir, you will have to multiply I. I
yeah,
into
have to
CR of
multiply I. Yes, you have to multiply I. Okay. Yeah, so this is the average value. Okay. So this function, okay, there's a name for this function. So if you define a random variable for any, so this is called the probability density function. Okay. So suppose you have a random variable x. For a random variable x, remember it is a function from omega to real numbers. Okay, it need not be actually natural numbers all the time. You will see examples of real numbered random variables as well. And for a random variable x belonging to this thing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So in the above average formula, average value of x, do we have to divide by n or n plus 1? Because in the numerator there will be n plus 1 terms.
Yeah. So do we need to divide by n here? Sorry, I think yeah, I made a mistake.
No, sir. N will not be there. I think.
Yes.
Just multiply I by the probability of getting I. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for a random variable x from omega to real number, okay, this probability of, so we could probably write a general formula for probability of x equal to some real number k, or x equal to some real number small x. Okay, so this probability value is called the probability density function, and typically it is written as p sub x of x. Okay, so this is called the probability density function. Okay, so if x is the number of heads, yeah, so what is the probability of density function? Px of x what is the probability density function? Yeah, so let's say you have n n coin tosses with probability of heads being p, and x is number of heads. What is the probability of x equal to x? How do you define it? Yeah. So I think somebody said n choose x, p raised to x, 1 minus p whole raised to n minus x. Is this correct?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody think this is not correct? Yeah. So this is only true if x is an integer between 0 to n. Yeah. If it is a real number, this value is 0. You agree? The number of heads can only take integer values, cannot take real values. I'm not saying anything complicated, but yeah, if you have a question, please raise it. Yeah. Okay.
So how do we exactly define probability density function? I mean, for the random variable, we know that it is a function. So for probability density function, how do we define it, like in English language or that way?
So you have a
I
sample
mean,
space.
is there any way?
Yeah. So you have a sample space. Then you have a probability of all the atomic elements in the sample space. Okay. From the problem, you can compute that. Yeah. And x equal to x is an event in that it's a subset of the sample space. X equal to x is a subset of the sample space, right? What subset
Yes.
is this subset? Where this 5 is replaced by small x. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
There is a probability for this event, and that is this value. And that is the value of the probability density function. Yeah?
Okay.
So yeah, for every x, you will need to compute the probability of some particular event, and that will be the probability density function. Okay. And for this particular, this is called a binomial random variable. Okay. This number of heads thing is called a binomial random variable. So it doesn't need to be about heads. I mean, coins also. I mean, you can also throw, dice. Okay, n times, and look at the number of times 3 appears. Is that also binomially distributed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's say n is so a binomial distribution. So this is called so whenever you say a binomial distribution, okay, has two parameters. One is the number of repetitions, n. Okay, it might be all the formulas will be in terms of n. For your particular problem, n might be some 5 or 10. You can substitute it and get the answer. Yeah, and then there will be a p, which is the probability of what is called heads. Yeah. So let's say you are throwing dice and you are interested in the number of threes that turn up. You are throwing dice 10 times and you are interested in the number of threes. Okay, so what is n and what is p?
So n is
N
10
will be
and
10.
p is 1 by 6.
1 by 6.
What if I ask for, that you see a multiple of 3 on top of the dice? The number of times a multiple of 3 occurs.
There will be two multiples, like 3 and 6.
Yeah, so is that also binomial distributed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what is the p value? It will be,
Yes.
yeah, it will be 2 by 6, which is 1 by 3.
1 by 3.
Yeah, so this binomial distribution is not just for coin tosses. Okay, lot of other things also follows binomial distribution. Yeah, and distribution meaning this. So you typically are interested in a random variable, which is number of heads or number of times 3 comes up or something like that. So this random variable, yeah, will have parameters n and p. As long as the density function looks like this. Yeah, whenever the density function of a random variable looks like this, we will say it is binomially distributed. Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, so this function not just tells you, it kind of tells you what are the probabilities, how it is distributed. Yeah, and so what is the average value? So the average value is also called. Yeah, so average value is also called the expected value. This is a common term in. Yeah, And the way you write it is expected value of x. And yeah, how do you compute the expected value of x? I think we already saw it, right? How do you compute the average value of x?
N into P.
N into P.
So in general, the formula is that particular formula. Summation over x belong to the real numbers. You look at all the x, yeah, and look at the density function value of x and multiply it by x and sum the above. This is called the expected value of x. Yeah. And for the binomial distribution, for x, yeah, distributed according to the binomial distribution with parameters n and p. Okay, what this means is, yeah, the probability density function looks like this. Yeah. What is the expected value of x? Yeah. So we'll need to substitute the formula, right?
Px into x.
So you need to substitute x. So you don't need to sum up over all natural numbers. X equal to 0 to n only I need to sum up. Px I need to write. So Px is n choose x, p raised to x, 1 minus p raised to n minus x. You need to multiply by this by x. Yeah. Now, what is this number? Like, this is a complicated number. I mean, you agree with this formula? Yeah, so this is the probability of x equal to x. That everybody agrees.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, this is how do you sum this up?
So it is a binomial series.
It's a binomial series. Yeah, but yeah, how do you sum this up? It's like a very complicated formula. How do you sum this up? Even I'm not sure how do you sum this up. Is there a way to sum this up? Does anybody know how to, like, can we simplify the summation? It's like a complicated summation. I don't know how to do it.
So 2 raised to n into x. No, let me think.
Yeah, so how do we do it? Is there a simple way of doing it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very unclear actually what this is. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you the answer. This will work out to be n times p. Okay, that's what the textbook says. I don't know how they got that answer.
Sir, this can be done by taking that binomial expansion, that is x plus y to the power n is equal to nc0 x.
Okay, that is interesting. So this binomial expansion is x equal to 0 to n,
Yes.
n choose x, x raised to n, right?
Yes.
Y raised to, I think I should, sorry,
So
I think I'm
n minus
complicating too many things. Yeah, I will just write I here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And x raised to I, y raised to n minus I.
So take that, instead of x plus y, take that 1 plus x.
Okay, so let's substitute x equal to 1. And let's substitute y equal to x. That's what you're saying.
Yes. And so
here,
that y term you can remove.
sorry, here also I made a mistake, I think.
So it will be I.
Here x will be there. So what should I substitute x with?
Sir, x is p and y
to
is
the
1
power.
minus p.
Okay, x I will
that.
substitute with p. Okay. So I will
And y
substitute
is
x.
1 minus p.
Now
Are we done?
we can differentiate this equation. So n will come.
So yeah, we had to substitute x for sorry, I think we complicated things. We should just have left the formula as it is. Let me just go back. Yeah, so this was the formula, binomial formula. This was the binomial formula everybody knows. Yeah. So what should I substitute x to be?
P.
So I'll just compare. X should be p, y should be. Yes, everybody know how this formula comes, by the way. How is this formula coming? Like, it's a magic formula, no? I mean, where is this coming from?
So from the coefficients of that triangle.
Yeah, so what is this x plus y? This is x plus y times x plus y n times. Yeah, so this is what x plus y raised to n is. Yeah, and how do you derive this formula? Does everybody knows how to derive this formula? These are actually very interesting stuff. I mean, this might be simple stuff, but these are actually very, very interesting stuff. So if you open out all the brackets, there will be 2 raised to n things. Everybody agrees? Open out all the brackets, there will be 2 raised to n things.
Sir?
If I just open out all the brackets, there is a n brackets, no? I just open out, so I will open out this bracket and cross multiply. So I will get xx plus xy plus yx plus yy. Yeah. I again open out this bracket, everything if I open out, I will get 2 raised to n times.
Yes, sir.
Provided we
Yes, sir. I think n plus 1 terms in the in way of x to the powers and y to the powers.
Yeah. So many of the terms will be the same. For example, we saw that xy and yx. Xy and yx is the same because multiplication is commutative.
And this formula comes like the terms n plus 1s. We are representing in different terms like and their coefficients. So this formula comes from there.
Yeah. So I was just checking if everybody knows how this comes. Okay, this is. I mean, if you, I think it's better. So never
Like
accept.
first we start with.
Some textbook tells you there is this formula. Never accept it just like that. You should ask why it comes. You should understand why it comes. Okay, and many a times the same trick used to obtain that formula could be used to do something else. Okay, so it's So think about this, how to get this formula from, by opening out the brackets and see. So let's just finish this. X was equal to p, y was equal to 1 minus p, n was n only. And so this I was probably replaced by x. Yeah, so I was probably replaced by x. Yeah. So what do we get? So does it give you what you want? Still, it's not giving. No, there is a x sitting here. Yeah. So go back and think about it. How do you get this? Why is this equal to NP? I think today's lecture is almost over.
This calculation can be much easier if you have if you use linearity of
expectation, right? So
okay,
if
we haven't got there. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sure some of you are like very good at probability. Yeah, we'll come to linearity of expectation. Yeah, that's a very simple way of obtaining this. I completely agree. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that people are familiar with the usual method also.
yeah. And
Yeah,
sir,
so think
I had
about so think about it, how to obtain things from first principles. It's more important that you think something and find out than me telling everything. Okay, so that's why again there is that extra discussion problems also. So if you think all this you know very well, give a try at the discussion problems. Try to solve them. Okay, some of them might look deceptively simple, but they are not that simple. Some of them are reasonable. So yeah, please be active in the forum. Try to solve. Even if you have some partial idea, just put it there. Maybe it will help somebody else. Yeah, and in the end, in real world, we solve problems together only. Nobody sits alone and solves a problem. Okay, yeah, sometimes that also happens, but it's better to work together and solve problems in the end. Yeah. So if there is no other questions, I can stop.
Sir, this equation can be solved by differentiating it with respect to x.
Okay, differentiating with respect to x. Yeah, okay, that's a good try. Yeah.
Then that I power will come forward. That will substitute work out
So
for
you
this x
take,
x by x.
you'll differentiate this formula with
respect to x.
With respect to x. Yeah. So then you will have x raised to I minus 1 into x. You will come here. Yeah.
No. I will come forward.
X raised to n is nx raised to n minus 1. So x raised to I minus 1 into I will come.
Yes.
And so it starts looking like what you want. Yeah.
And then we multiply by one extra x both the sides to make the same equation. And on the left hand side, when we replace x by p and y by 1 minus p, we'll get the answer.
Yeah, so hope everybody understood that. Yeah, Ankit, if it's possible, please post this in the forum. Okay, yes. That will be very helpful for everyone. And later, as Dhruv mentioned, we will come up with a simple trick to obtain this formula in one step. Okay, and that trick nobody appreciates until people actually come up, try to solve this problem the hard way. Yeah, so it's something called linearity of expectation, which looks deceptively simple, but that trick can be used to solve very hard problems. And people don't realize the importance of it until they try to solve the problem without using linearity of expectation. Okay, so anyway, that's all for today. Okay, we'll meet next time. Tomorrow there'll be office hours. Thank you.
Sir, just one thing.
Yes.
So can we use probability mass function and probability density function interchangeably? So like.
So far we are looking at what is called discrete random variables. Yeah. I think thanks Dhruv for pointing out. Probably I should write probability mass function here. There is not that much difference, but yeah. So probability density function is is roughly the same thing, but for continuous random variables. It is actually this should actually be probability mass function. It should not be probability density function. Thank you for correcting. Yeah, but something similar will be called a probability density function in terms of continuous random variables. Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, bye for now.